People are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time.
Welcome to the What's Left podcast on the Derealization Nation Media.
I can't afford Mountain Dew! Okay? The economy's rough right now! Obama!
Miners, I love miners.
And now, your hosts.
That's us. It's John, it's Jake, it's Brad on the Derealization Nation Media Network. This is the What's Left podcast, the punk rock garage band podcast. Thank you all for liking, subscribing. Help us out. We're really fighting the algorithm hard lately. Check us out Instagram, Threads, TikTok, here on YouTube, also Apple Pods, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. All right, guys. So Trump got big bitch slapped by the Supreme Court, got big mad about it. We've got war with Israel. We've got Epstein Files stuff. We've got Cuba, all kinds of things to talk about. Try to get to all of it. So let's get to it. Let's start with Trump and his meltdown over his tariffs being smacked down by the Supreme Court. To summarize the way that it went, basically, the liberal Supreme Court justices said there is no instance in which these tariffs are constitutional because taxes are the Article 1 power of Congress, and there is no need for any of this other stuff. The middle of the court, I guess, the far right middle of the court, is still trying to make their theory of they're still trying to work their unitary executive theory into all of this stuff while still telling the president that there are limits to his power, because you can't fuck with the stock market and or tax businesses. So that was kind of their position. And then you had the furthest right and Brett Kavanaugh joining the farthest right. So like the sex offenders wing, trying to help the president find other legal means with which he could tax the people. But all of them are frivolous. There is, again, no reason whatsoever that the president can tax without Congress. It's just that simple.
And his response was more taxes.
Yeah, he's gonna put more taxes. Well, that's eventually he got there. He got there eventually because he said a lot of shit. We'll watch a little bit of this this cut up of some of his greatest hits from what is probably one of the most unhinged rants of his presidency, and that is saying something, because it's him.
The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing, and I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country.
Like
They're
Mike Pence.
Against anything that makes America strong, healthy, and great again. They
Like
also
pesticide.
are a, frankly, disgrace to our nation, those justices. They're just being fools and lapdogs for the rhinos and the radical left Democrats. They're very unpatriotic and disloyal to our Constitution. It's my opinion that the court has been swayed by foreign interests. So they write this terrible, defective decision, totally defective. It's almost like not written by smart people. The court said that I'm not allowed to charge even $1. I can't charge $1. I assume to protect other countries. This must have been done to protect those other countries, certainly not the United States of America. And I don't think the court meant it. I mean, I read the paragraphs. I read very well. Great comprehension. Our stock market has just recently broken 50,000 on the Dow. It's incorrect. Their decision's incorrect. I think their decision was terrible. I think it's an embarrassment to their families. You want to know the truth. A few people.
You just work with Congress to come up with a plan.
I don't have to.
On the $2,000.
I didn't call you. I don't talk to CNN. It's fake news. Just yesterday, the Prime Minister of Pakistan said President Trump saved 35 million lives. President, I'd love to kiss you. This is a very powerful man. I don't want to be kissed by that man. He said, sir, I want to kiss you so badly. And I said, no, thank you. Europe has gone woke. I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I'm even allowed to impose a foreign country-destroying embargo. I can embargo. I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1. We have alternatives. Great alternatives. Could be more money. We'll take in more money. But now the court has given me the unquestioned right to ban all sorts of things from coming into our country, to destroy foreign countries. I want to be a good boy.
Okay. Yeah, that's the president of the United States, guys.
Hey, he has no clue what the word embargo means. I mean, he's actively doing it in another country right now, but he doesn't know what it means.
Yeah, no.
He has great comprehension. He knows what it means. What are you talking about?
I can't get over how fucking stupid he sounded on that whole thing. I mean,
I would like to think that if I was voted president, I wouldn't have to reassert the fact that I can read well.
yeah, or have to constantly tell stories about, just spurning the advances of other people. Like, oh, sir, they come up to me, they say, sir. Come on, shut the fuck up. They do not. Like, everybody knows you're full of shit. Nobody comes up to you and says, sir.
To say the justices are protecting foreign interests is like wild as we're actively getting ready to blow up Iran for Israel.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just getting more and more serious. And you have that situation now too, where he's moved all these warships over there, which cost us so much fucking taxpayer dollars. The amount of money that they have spent moving these ships around the fucking country alone is absurd. Okay, just absolutely, literally absurd. The only money that we were taking in was from tariffs, right? And it was not enough to cover the deficit spending at all, not even close. As it was, but now we're not going to have that. We're about to give away these huge fucking tax cuts again. And while we're taking these taxes, we're also paying them back out to the military to do these exercises, which even if this doesn't end up being a war, which it does seem like it increasingly like it will be, we've already blown just a shit ton of money out of the giant slush fund that is the defense budget. And it's just disgusting to see. And you can tell like Trump is trying to back out of it. Well, for one reason, because Iran has video of Trump and Israel has video of Trump. And so Iran is reporting that Trump is calling them, trying to figure out a way out of it, like he did the last time that he obliterated their nuclear facility. Just throw a bomb somewhere where nobody else is and scoot out, no little to no casualties and scoot out. Look tough, do nothing, declare victory, move on. But it may be too late for that because Iran is pretty pissed off. It really would be something if they like sunk an American warship. That would be some crazy shit.
We would go into all full-fledged war. We would eliminate them from the planet. Donald Trump will nuclear code everything to protect his ego.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he's a fucking pedophile. I mean, he's got a lot to protect. I mean, he's been lying about this one for fucking since the 80s. He's been hiding this shit, covering it up, trafficking kids. Like he's got a lot to lose. Got a lot to lose. Him and Les Wexner are going to spend their last fucking 6 months on Earth in prison, I hope. Because they're both on death's door and they should have been fucking prosecuted decades and decades ago.
They are the good old boys club.
Yeah. That's what it looks like. So we'll come back and talk. Hopefully, we'll come back and talk a little bit more about Israel and the Gaza peace plan. But something that we haven't talked about yet that we should talk about is the Cuba thing, is the embargo. So Trump has Cuba surrounded. Cuba is basically being starved out. I mean, this is a war crime by any stretch of the imagination. But it didn't just start today. We talk a lot about how like the international rules-based order, whatever they say, is broken down. It's broken down. Trump is tearing down NATO. He's tearing down the UN. Well, it's been a lot of years this stuff's been going on. Jake, do you have the yeah. So this is something that most Americans don't know or don't remember or don't pay attention to. That every single year, at the General Assembly of the United Nations, the entire world votes to condemn our country for its criminal blockade of Cuba. Not just the communists or the global South, the whole fucking world condemns it. And we ignore it. It's just a list of literally every country on the planet.
Oh, look at those two little red ones.
Ah, wow. Who's the other one, Jake?
What?
Who's the other
I
one?
never saw that coming.
Israel? Am I
What?
pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah, yes, you are. Isn't that some shit? So, for the sake of Israel, and so that we can continue our own imperialism, we've ignored the UN since its inception, since we've never once paid attention to the international rules-based order. Trump has certainly made it worse. He's taken the fucking shine off of it. But this is an ongoing problem. This has always been this way. But what he's doing right now to Cuba is taking a step beyond, and just like everything else, like he takes what's bad about America and makes it even worse. And now you got no fuel, no nothing going into Cuba. People are starving. Uh, there's a picture of Havana without the fuel. Just one of the things, like government can't run garbage collection, so there's outbreaks of deadly mosquito-borne diseases that can't be controlled because there's no fuel. Oil blockade is murderous. Also, people can't get to hospitals. It's literally killing people. Um, and if it wasn't for the generosity and bravery of other countries like Mexico and I think China even just breaking that blockade, those people would be in much more dire straits. But we are acting as a terrorist nation. And look at that right there in the midst of their suffering. Right? What's that in the center, Jake? You see it? It says Free Palestine.
That's someone who reposted it.
Oh,
Come on, John, you silly goose.
Hey, silly goosey.
damn. Well, if you could imagine, that would be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
This internet be fucking grip up sometimes.
But in Cuba, I don't think it would be spelled in English.
Good point. Good point. Well, you know what? This is my podcast. I do all the editing. This might not make it. This might not make it there.
Leave it
in. Oh shit! That's funny as fuck. What are you gonna do? All right. All right. So speaking of countries, that country that we throw away the rules-based order of the universe for every year, here's our ambassador to that country on Fox News.
Israel be expected to even pay 1 penny to rebuild Gaza at this point?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I'll tell you, if anything, there ought to be reparations to Israel for the extraordinary fight that they have had to conduct to get their hostages back, 252, including many Americans.
I don't know about you guys, but I just want to beat the fucking brakes off that guy.
That's insane.
The fucking audacity. The fucking gobsmacking audacity.
Think about everything Israel's been through to commit this genocide.
That's just think. You won't think of it. You don't think about anything but yourself. Selfish.
Oh
my God.
Gosh. The poor IDF. Oh, the things they've seen as they kill women and children. Oh.
They walk those two guys around who were caught on video raping a fucking inmate. They treat them like heroes. But yes, they should be. They need reparations because they've been traumatized. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This country, Kushner's putting high-end resorts in Gaza. They're talking about reparations for Israel.
You know, I'm glad you brought it up because, first of all, we've talked about it before, but we're going to mention it again because it's worth mentioning. Like, basically, the Palestinians are being given the choice to either work as slaves on Jared Kushner's farms, plantations inside of Gaza, or get relocated somewhere else, or be exterminated. That's the options. Did I miss one? That's it.
That's it.
That's all of them. And here's Jared fucking Kushner.
Thing that that I would try to do if I was Israel right now is I would just bulldoze something in the Negev. I would try to move people in there. I know that won't be the popular thing to do, but I think that that's a better option to do so that you can go in and finish the job. In Gaza's waterfront property, it could be very valuable.
And I really want to thank the entire team that's worked so hard at this. A lot of these people are volunteers. They're doing this not for any personal gain. People are not personally profiting from this. They are really doing this for their children and for their grandchildren and because they want to see peace.
These people are committing genocide for the love of the game, bro. Nothing more than the love of the game.
That's fucking insane, dude. My blood pressure was so high. I was sitting over here at my desk prepping my show, and I didn't realize how much fucking noise I was making, just groaning and yelling at my phone. And my girlfriend walks in, she's like, "What is wrong?" Like, "Oh, sorry, nothing. It's just, you know, this." It's literally it was just video after video of this fucking peace board. Tony Blair. I mean, all these guys, and they're like, "Oh, it's worth $50 million." All they're talking about is what it's worth, what it's worth. CNN even had to report that thousands of the missing Palestinians who went out for aid have just been buried. We're just buried alive by Israel. They just bulldozed over these people. There's tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands more people missing in Gaza who are likely dead. I mean, the idea that there's only 70,000 people dead is absurd. But if you ask an Israeli bot, they will tell you that most of those were Hamas, and that when in reality, we know for certain that most of those were children. You see the traumatized doctors and the genocide experts telling you what it is. We don't get to debate this anymore. This is not a debate. I refuse to have it.
Yeah, it's not a conversation of differing opinions. It's either you are dumb or you see that there is a genocide taking place in Gaza.
Yeah. Or I don't know, vicious. Maybe there's there's a certain element of you that's just a mean piece of shit. I don't know, like just garbage human being without a soul. But like you can't look at that and be like, yeah, that's cool, and still be like, it's antisocial behavior. You don't deserve to be in society for acting that way. I'm sorry, you don't. You opted out. I didn't choose it. You did.
It's crazy that there's a peace deal and Jared Kushner's like, Israel just needs to finish the job during a peace deal.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Yeah, don't forget. Yeah, exactly. See, even they know it's not a peace deal. They're talking about it like it's still ongoing because it is. They fucking know better. Oh, it's a great point. Yeah, so also, by the way, another person tried and failed to kill Donald Trump today. He was shot and killed outside of Mar-a-Lago. He had a gas can and a shotgun. He apparently had been a big Trump fan and obsessed with the Epstein Files. He's about 20 years old, unaffiliated voter from North Carolina. Found his way down to Mar-a-Lago. Obviously, details are still coming out, and maybe they'll come out, maybe they won't. But that's just what people know from like having clocked him online. Whatever the FBI is going to say about him is probably going to be a lie. But I think what we're gonna this to me, like I thought, it's interesting. I wonder if there's probably a lot of people who were radicalized by Trump because of the Epstein Files, who are now coming to the realization that he is the Epstein Files. And those are dangerous people. And he probably may not have put that into his calculus.
Imagine like you worship this man. Okay, you've made it your entire identity.
It's tough.
And then you have a moment of clarity and you're like, oh man, he's probably tied to this billionaire pedophile ring. So everything you've like your existence for the last decade has been this man, and now you're betrayed. They're pissed.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Had you ever thought about something like that, Jake? It's just had never occurred to me.
No, they see the people take it at face value and they don't research people. We've followed him, like we've known he's a piece of shit since forever ago.
Yeah.
It's just us. But they hear like one thing he says and they'll just follow him because they believe in that as well. So you really gotta look into the people you're voting for, understand what they actually fight for and everything before you start worshiping the ground they walk on.
Yeah,
and get upset when they do something you don't like.
yeah, and probably don't worship the ground they walk on too. Would probably be good advice, right? Like,
Right. You shouldn't worship anybody to that caliber in the world.
no. In politics, you're always going to disagree with somebody a little bit. Like
Right, you're
AOC,
supposed to have your own opinions.
like just for instance, I think it's safe to say that all three of us would enthusiastically support AOC for president.
1000%.
Okay, but I think it's also fair to say that there are parts of AOC's politics we have found disappointing in the past.
Yeah. Her voting record is not spotless.
It's not. It's not.
But we are aware of that because we
Right.
actually
Right.
follow it outside of just mean words on the internet that get people fired up.
Right. I don't have any AOC posters in my home. Uh, I don't have any AOC merchandise. So, you know, outside of like a campaign t-shirt, it's weird to have presidential merchandise. It is. It's
There's
even
a house that we pass often, and it had a Trump flag outside, and then when their garage door was open, you could see there was like the picture from Butler on one side, the Trump 2024 flag on the other side of the garage. Well, we went and did some shopping yesterday, and we're driving by, garage doors up, the flag is gone, and everything is taken down from the garage.
Whoa.
And this has been
Whoa.
like a stain on my eyes every day I see it. I'm like, you're still following this guy? You're still So I want to know if it was the files to where he's like, I've had enough, or is he mad because we haven't, blown up Iran yet? And he's like, or we don't have Greenland yet or something. Like, is that what was the final deal breaker?
We might need to get them on for a quick interview. I'm curious to know. I'm curious to know. All right. Well, so Butler, we know, is bullshit. We started off the show. I was so adamantly against talking about any conspiracy theory because I didn't want to sound like crazy people on the internet. But we just devolved, we started talking about conspiracy theories, but then we also came across like some stuff, the recognition that not all conspiracy is theory. Some conspiracy is fact, right? So
Asking questions is not a crime.
No, it is not a crime. Uh, it's not a crime at all. Ignoring facts is problematic, but asking the questions not a crime. So we have come across quite a few. So one of the things though that is increasingly moving from theory toward fact is the fact that Elon Musk may have cheated on the election. So we have this story breaking in the New Republic about Elon Musk committing voter fraud in Georgia. All right, this post from Keandra, who, if you're a Threads person, you probably know Keandra. I'm sharing another resource that clearly explains the voter fraud found in Georgia. From my interpretation, it seems the goal was to steal votes not just by using technology, but by purposefully misdirecting votes and confusing voters. The mailing also failed to clearly identify itself as biased sponsored piece. The mailer as a bias sponsored piece and not an official government document, which is a form of fraud. In layman's terms, it was a whole scheme that Elon set up. This is the report from the New Republic. In October of 2024, the Georgia Secretary of State's office, help me out a little bit, Jake,
launched an investigation after receiving numerous reports from residents across several countries saying they've received partially pre-filled absentee ballot applications from Musk America PAC. According to John Fervier, the state elections board chairman, there was evidence to suggest American PAC had violated a state law that prohibits any person or entity other than an authorized relative to send an elector an absentee ballot application pre-filled with the elector's required information, according to Janice Johnson, the SER's vice chairman. There was evidence to suggest America's
Nope,
PAC
that's the same one. Just read the bottom paragraph now.
America's PAC had also failed to display in a conspicuous location that this was not an official government publication, was not provided by the government, and was not a ballot, Johnson added.
So fake mail-in ballots. They sent fake mail-in ballots. He should be fucking tried for treason, thrown out of the country, he's getting a reprimand.
I wonder how many people didn't vote because they sent those in.
Who knows? Who knows? They do believe that mail-in voting disproportionately favors Democrats. That's why Trump is so against it. Even though it just honestly it's just old people. So I don't really know. It's a lot of old people. So I don't know that it doesn't really help Republicans too. But yeah, so that's it. Just another billionaire doing billionaire things and getting away with it. It is still happening. Like it has not stopped. This Epstein stuff continues to happen. So, while we're on the subject, so one of the conspiracies that we talked about that made me the most uncomfortable is 9/11. Always makes me uncomfortable when real people die, like real death, like that shit. But like it's not. I admit now that it's not an excuse not to investigate into things, right? And so Brad is a big, not big 9/11 guy, right?
Yeah, huge 9/11 guy. The government has been lying to us since day one about the whole thing. And I've gone down rabbit holes on 9/11 on the show that are statements of fact, but it just keeps getting bigger. Like now that we're seeing these Epstein files, like how did I not tie in it was all for Israel?
Yeah. And it's funny because for me, what brought me to this was so remember I also did the Hannibal Directive as a conspiracy theory where the Israeli ordered to fire on their own troops or their own soldiers during October 7th. And it just talked about like how it appeared that Benjamin Netanyahu had orchestrated the whole thing. And I mean, he has, like, he had a big hand in orchestrating October 7th. And then on top of that, just to hear him speak over and over again about Iran and the nuclear bomb again, like, it was like scales fell from my eyes. So I was like, oh my God, this motherfucker has been doing this forever. And obviously, there's something fucking fishy about 9/11. Lots of things are weird about 9/11. The Tower 7 thing was one of the strangest. Jake loves
Yeah.
a conspiracy theory, so Jake's on board, right, Jake?
I am completely on board.
All right. Well, let's get to some of the stuff that we found in the Epstein files because everything is coming together uh, in a weird, neat little package. So this email from Phil Levine to GMax, who's Ghislaine Maxwell, in case you didn't know, on Tuesday, the 18th of September, 2001. And it simply says, where is the real pilot? Where is the real pilot? Brad, for people who might not be old enough to remember 9/11, why don't you explain to them the significance of that email?
So allegedly the plane was hijacked by people with box cutters and the pilot was never there, essentially. Like the pilot that they said was there was not there ever. At all. Like to the point that like so Phil Levine is a businessman and he served as the mayor of Miami Beach. And he ran for governor of Florida as a Democrat in 2018. So this is somebody who is tied to them and then years later is now holding positions of power. He was the mayor of Miami and ran for governor.
It's fucking wild. And just days after, like we didn't know any of those details on September 18th. Details about the pilot were not yet available.
None.
None. Nobody knew any of that shit.
Nothing.
So here's just a very non-conspicuous email from Ed Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell. Subject: Shadow Commission invitation. I get these all the time. Monday, January 6th, 2003. Reply: Shadow Commission. Any interest in being on the Shadow Commission on 9/11? The membership list is secret. Rough cut at blank. Let me know. Regards, Ed Epstein blank. Yeah.
Right. Like, I don't understand how these people are so tied in.
What? Yeah.
I mean, I do.
What fucking business does this child abuser have
Right.
on a 9/11 commission at all? Any commission?
And unless, of course, her dad, being a Mossad agent, gives her special security clearance to be involved in American shadow commissions for one of the biggest deaths of American citizens in history.
Yeah. Crazy. Well, the actual 9/11 commission, by the way, said that the head of that security office at the time said that the creation of the Department of Homeland Security had made it impossible for him to properly investigate 9/11. So it's almost like George W. Bush created DHS to make sure that people could never find out about 9/11. He cut the Department of Homeland Security off from all of the investigative agencies. The Counterterrorist Division has no contact with the FBI, the CIA, or the NSA, or any of those other departments. Fucking crazy. So here's probably the craziest email. I can't see this one, so somebody else got to read this one.
I'll read it when you pop it up.
Go ahead.
It's the year 2032. A father and his son are walking through Lower Manhattan. As they approach the site where the World Trade Center once stood, the father sighs and says, "Imagine, right here were the Twin Towers." The son, confused, asked, "What are the Twin Towers?" The father smiles, looks at his son, and explains, "There were huge buildings here until 2001 when Arabs destroyed them."
This is from an email from Ghislaine Maxwell to Jeffrey Epstein in October of 2001. October 2001.
They were the scapegoats all along.
Yeah.
And now all this has resulted in the Patriot Act, ICE, like all this. They had a hand in all of this.
All of this, even as far as we've said many times before, the rollback of the civil rights movement. Like this opened the door to being racist to people. Like the acceptance of Islamophobia across the United States of America was the beginning of the rollback of civil rights for other people. It was the beginning of the end. It was the beginning of the end.
If you can find a group to hate together as a team, if you can unify in your hatred.
Yep. And this was the perfect opportunity. So let's tie it together even further. So Sasha Barros the other day, as I'm scrolling threads, had posted on somebody, one of my other friends on threads, said, "I've been very vocal about 9/11. You can't melt structural metal with jet fuel." This is one of Brad's favorite parts of you can't melt structural steel with jet fuel. It just doesn't burn hot enough. I wonder if that's one of the reasons I'm being suppressed. I suspect there's other reasons, but
if jet fuel could melt steel beams, it would certainly melt the fucking paper passports they found at the fucking scene.
Oh, there's the stats. Oxyacetylene torch burns at 5,600 to 6,300 degrees Fahrenheit. And we'll cut those beams, but only if you preheat and hold the torch at just the right angle and distance. If you pull the torch back just 6 inches, you can stand there all day. You won't get hot enough to cut it. Jet fuel burns at 800 to 1,500 degrees Fahrenheit in open conditions, and inside those buildings, the fire would have reduced the amount of available oxygen.
Yeah. So 6 times stronger or higher is what they would have needed. And perfect conditions to melt those steel beams.
Yeah. So structural engineer tries to debunk, says heat does weaken steel. In fact, steel does lose about 50% of the strength at the temperature jet fuel burns. That, combined with the loss of structural supports that were designed upon impact, was more than enough to cause a catastrophic collapse. To which Sasha replies, because of the heat dissipation, there wasn't enough energy in the amount of fuel that was being carried in those planes to cause structural steel to collapse. A fire under those parameters lacks the concentration of heat at a failure point. A fire like that wouldn't change the temperature of the steel enough to do what we saw. The explosions you hear right before the building drops is what caused the collapse. What do I know? I'm just a genius with a welding degree. So.
They hate to see that.
Yep. Yep. This is also fascinating. You're really gonna have to zoom in to the bottom of this one, Jake. But the 3 million files that have not been released, even in a redacted form, so not even redacted files, span time periods directly before 9/11, during 9/11, and after 9/11. So this is why we haven't seen any of them. This obviously posits that Epstein is directly connected to 9/11, which, yeah, it does seem very plausible, to say the least.
25,000 missing serial numbers.
Yeah.
I'll read the data set at the bottom.
Can you see it?
Yep. The dataset 9 manifest shows a hard break in serial sequencing at EFTA 000450001. The missing tranches overlap with key geopolitical events and anomalous market activity. As of February 26, 50% of the total identified Epstein evidence remains withheld by the DOJ for reasons of national security or deliberative process privilege. It's not national security for us to find out you're lying, because none of us believe you anyway.
No, it's their security. Like, they're going to prison for what they've done and trade. I mean, they made money on this shit too.
Outside of boomers, no one believes the 9/11 narrative. Even you, who is a naysayer, you have to question the 9/11 narrative.
No, it's not crazy. It's not like I didn't think not that I didn't think there was something wrong with it. Just, just hesitate to like speculate too hard because,
sure,
people died. So here we go. Howard Ludnick, who designed the tariffs, his family firm bet against them. That's what they do. They profit off of other people's misery. That's what Cantor, the fuck is it called? I don't know. His company. That's what it does. The court strikes him down. Ludnick family cash ins. They're making millions. Yes, there's a conflict of interest, obviously.
Didn't Ludnick miraculously take his kid to school on 9/11?
We're getting there.
Over here.
We're getting there.
Nice.
Here's a picture of a side-by-side of one of the masks in the creepy dental space from Jeffrey Epstein's island, where it has been speculated that children had their teeth removed so they couldn't bite. Yuck. That mask does look eerily like him. Or, I mean, come on. Jake?
Yeah.
I mean, if this was the Maury show, I'm like, he's got his nose.
Yeah. That's your baby, Howard.
That's your baby. You the father. Creepy. All right. So yeah, Howard Ludnick. Here he is, being interviewed on Fox News just after 9/11.
The head of Cantor Fitzgerald, Howard Ludnick, just happened to be out of the office that day that the terrorists struck. Mr. Ludnick was taking his son to his first day of kindergarten. Now he says he has a very different view of business and life. He spoke to our business correspondent, Terry Keenan, earlier today.
We are really focused on trying to make sure that our 700 families who lost a member of their family are taken care of. And so I spent the day yesterday and part of the day in talking to our insurance company. Our insurance company, CNA, told me that they would, they told our guys, they didn't tell me, and then they told me that, that they were willing to treat this as an accidental death, which means that they would double the policy for all of my victims upstairs and all of us, and so that added $35 million to that group upstairs.
And just finally, it was just the accident of timing and luck on your part that you weren't in the building, and I know some of the other survivors here. How do you feel? It must tear you in so many different directions.
I don't know why I'm alive. I not only I didn't get to the building early enough so that I wasn't in it, but then I stood outside at the door helping people out and telling them to come on, get out, and asking what floor they were on, trying to find the higher and higher floors so that I could hopefully find someone coming down from 101, so that meant our guys and our women had survived. But I'm standing under the building when the number 2 collapses, and I'm just lucky to be alive, and I don't know why I am, but you know what, I'm just thankful.
Yeah.
So you were hanging out at Ground Zero while buildings were on fire. You're just nonchalantly
chilling,
checking
Right
people as
next
they
to
were
it?
coming out. What floor were you on? What floor are you on? What floor were you on?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
He was way too first of all, too much giggly smiley all the time from this guy. No matter what the topic, he's always just got that weird fake like goony evil smile going on. And to me too, it just seemed like they asked him about like the family, and the first thing he wants to talk about is the money. Like the only thing he talked about was how much money they were getting.
Hopefully little Susie can hug that check because dad's not coming home. Good thing we
Yeah.
got that extra money for him.
Don't worry, we got to double it up. It's almost like he was trying to make himself feel better about having like been in on the deaths of
people dying.
Yeah, for sure. Which he still is. You know, this
It's
guy
amazing
is
how much guilt people can sit on, like knowing that you were a part of that.
Yeah, it's disgusting, crazy. But I mean, we're talking about the guy who brought his kids to the island and gave Jeffrey Epstein their ages and everything in an email. So, I mean, he's just ate the one. Amazing. Not one single resignation. All right. Last shots. We're out of time. What do you got? Any one last thing you want to say?
Oh, I wish we could talk more about 9/11 because it goes so much deeper now that these Epstein files are out. I was just scratching the surface of the opiate epidemic.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll have more time, and one of these days we hope to make this an actual business and really have time to actually podcast and get to all of the stories and really dig deep and get you guys all the information. But until then, we're here. We'll do what we can. You can help out by liking, subscribing, push us out to the algorithm because the algorithm does not love what we talk about. I'll tell you that right now. And you guys already do, and we appreciate that. We love the nation. We thank you guys for being here. Love seeing you in the comments and all that stuff, man. On TikTok, Instagram, Threads, everywhere. Everywhere you interact with us, we appreciate it. You can subscribe for free here and on Substack. We also have the $5 a month option to help defray some of the cost of this enterprise. You can buy a t-shirt at derealizationnation.com. Until next time, I'm John.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Brad.
And that's what's left.
I don't call Netanyahu Benny and the Jets for no reason.